What would you say universities have to do to take e-learning to the next level?
I think actually now universities are doing quite a lot. Perhaps it's taken some years, but if I look around me in the Netherlands, but also worldwide, for example within the edX consortium, I see that universities are really active in MOOCs, in blended learning, and I think that's a good development, it's a good movement. If you compare us to the online business industry, for example, Facebook or LinkedIn or dating services or, well, you name it, I think we still have a lot to learn.
When universities collaborate, how can they overcome issues such as recognizing each other's MOOCs?
Yeah, I think that will be the next step, that we give MOOCs for credits in our regular education. And that is quite hard. I think we have to solve a few things. One is the money thing. Universities live in different financial systems. For example, if you look at tuition fees, in some countries they're really high, and if you take European countries, they're zero or they're quite low. So we have to find a way to transfer credits without transferring money. The second thing we have to do is to develop building blocks or a coding system. So what is a MOOC? How many ECs is it worth? Or how long is it? What's the entrance level required? So we have to find a system for that too. And the third thing is, I believe, is that we have to set up alliances of peer universities that know each other and trust each other. Perhaps a little bit comparable to the airline industry. Lufthansa is part of the STAR team. And if you fly with Lufthansa through this STAR Alliance, you can fly anywhere. And you know it's always a quality airline. And perhaps we should set up something like that for universities as well. So, sort of a STAR Alliance, but then for universities.
That's a good idea. Do you think that the e-learning industry is at threat from being overrun by brokers? And what do you think, if so, what do you think can be done to avoid this?
I think what's happening with big data and companies like you mentioned, Uber, Airbnb, that is very interesting. And I really think that we as universities need to have a good look at that. Also in higher education, we now generate a lot of data. And this is exactly what these brokers do. Airbnb doesn't have hotels, Uber doesn't have taxis, but they have the data. So I think, yeah, in the foreseeable future, there will be brokers in higher education as well. Perhaps Facebook or LinkedIn. But I'm hoping that we as universities become more proactive and develop our more professionalism in big data, and that we will be our own brokers.
How would you describe your OEB experience this year?
Well, actually, it's my first OEB experience. I'd never been to this conference before. I think it's really good. There's so many people from all over the world, so it's very international, I've noticed. I really liked the preparations. Before I came to this conference as a speaker, I was interviewed, and I read a really, really good article based on the interview with me, and I've seen that that's not always the case. So I think it's professional, good party, and just a really good conference.